Unrivaled just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports.
Caitlyn Clark is the biggest troll in sports history because she won't be playing in the inaugural season of the Fresh Women's Basketball League, Unrivaled. Don't worry though, she lost out on a huge $1 million deal. Many basketball fans and experts are shocked, with the exception of Skip Bayless, who disagreed with the general consensus and praised Clark for not joining the league for a valid reason.
I'm Rachel Namita and welcome to the Courtside Club. It was a huge day for Unrivaled basketball as they announced their rosters and also announced which coaches would be coaching which team.
For some background, this is how the entire frenzy started when Unrivaled, the new 3v3 women's basketball league, teased this November 20th roster pick on social media, dropping more than a few clues that pointed to one name. Since Caitlyn Clark's name was trending everywhere in the women's basketball world, fans were practically convinced that she was going to be the star of their first season. The league's posts were now full of subtle nos, such as her iconic jersey number 22.
It appears Unrivaled has gotten its answer, and Caitlyn Clark is out. According to a report from ESPN, Clark will not play in the new 3-on-3 basketball league. Of course, her participation or not had been the subject of much speculation.
However, Wednesday arrived and went, and the amount of support from fans was difficult to ignore. In addition to not being on the Unrivaled roster, an ESPN report earlier that day crushed the fantasy that Clark would not play in the new 3-on-3 league, Unrivaled, in its upcoming inaugural season, according to a source with knowledge of the matter who spoke to ESPN. Indeed, the hopes of witnessing her rule this league were dashed before it had even started. While the majority of the women's basketball community appeared to be in mourning, one individual had a completely different perspective. Skip Bayless, a sports personality, and he did not hold back in typical Skip flair.
And I applauded Caitlyn for snubbing, for avoiding, because they don't deserve her. I've never seen anything quite like the way Caitlyn was treated for about first 2/3 of the year.
It's good that Caitlyn Clark isn't participating in this new 3-on-3 league, he said on X, after all the jealousy and resentment she experienced the previous season, as well as the cheap shots and bullying attempts. She was the reason the WNBA's popularity skyrocketed, and she doesn't need 3-on-3. Let's face it, the man has a valid point. There is no denying Clark's impact on women's basketball. Her amazing endorsements and revenue streams give the reported $1 million salary an unmatched appearance. Let's just say that it's not very tempting because she has a different build, which this choice just serves to highlight. She has also received a lot of criticism.
So much jealousy. There was so much resentment early. There was so much flat-out pure hatred of Caitlyn Clark.
Early on, there was a great deal of jealousy, animosity, and outright contempt for Caitlyn Clark. This league isn't conventional, and many talented basketball players don't see the point in playing it. The league was established by WNBA stars Brenna Stewart and Afisa Kerr, and its goal is to provide players with a high-stakes game. With its glamorous 3-on-3 format, this high-reward environment promises players the highest salaries in professional women's sports history. For the majority of WNBA players, who usually travel abroad to augment their income during the off-season, this sounds like a dream job come true.
And this new 3-on-3 league, but it's the right move. No one wants to see women play 3-on-3 basketball. People are just warming up to seeing them play 5-on-5. Smart move here by Caitlyn Clark.
Naturally, everyone thought Caitlyn Clark would be a lock when ESPN revealed that she had been offered a job that would pay $1 million to join, but in a move that left many people perplexed, she turned it down outright. The offer is reportedly still on the table in case she changes her mind, but for the time being, it's a firm note, okay? Although Clark's rookie contract with the Indiana Fever earned her $76,535 in her first year with a projected annual salary and $97,582 by the end of her 4-year deal, that is nothing in comparison to what Unrivaled was dangling. However, Clark isn't exactly in dire need of money, as she has maintained significant sponsorships like her College State Farm deal and even secured a $20 million Nike partnership with her own signature shoe line.
WNBA season tips off. Fans are speculating about Caitlyn Clark. Obviously, she's the golden goose. Not only should they beg Caitlyn Clark to be in, but they should give her part of the 100 million like a big part and say, please, baby, please.
However, this is where things start to get a little slick. There is much more to this narrative, so allow me to put it all together for you WNBA fans. Dan Dackett, who never wanted to hide who added his notion to the mix on Don't Add Me, indicated that a new league would open in my Miami State farm. Caitlyn Clark's sugar daddy invests $100 million in sponsorship, and she isn't playing hoaxes. He even went so far as to imply that Clark might have first consented to join Unrivaled, which led to State Farm sponsorship, but later changed his mind. I'm sure one came before the other, and Caitlyn agreed that State Farm sponsored. Those are some audacious claims, aren't they?
But do you want to cheapen this? And do you want to play year-round? I don't know, but here's the deal. Unrivaled has announced a multi-year sponsorship with State Farm, making them our exclusive home.
To be fair, Unrivaled isn't hiding how badly they got her. They've signed some of her closest friends, like Kate Martin. As Dan noted, even though her presence has already greatly boosted the WNBA, so why juggle two leagues when you're busy becoming the face of one? In addition, she has publicly stated her preference for the traditional 5v5 format, which could make the Unrivaled FastPoc 3v3 vibe a little bit of a tough sell, especially when she was getting picked on all season in the WNBA. To top it all off, Lexi Hall and Aliyah Boston even released a slick 22-minute roster reveal video pack with Easter eggs that seem to be directed at Clark fans.
Playoff run. It's really that simple. So, in my view, if I'm the WNBA and I'm the fellow players, I'm actually happy that we're going to get the best version of Caitlyn Clark and not one that's continually fatigued.
Okay, Guy. To be honest, is your team superior to Allen on Caitlyn Clark's WNBA mission? There is no doubting that the commotion surrounding this decision speaks volumes about women's basketball. When was the last time a league's possible signing generated this much discussion, even without Clark Umrao? He was able to grab headlines, start discussions, and establish an unquestionable air of exclusivity. Now, I say mission accomplished, but not completely, as the league has the potential to fail miserably for a few reasons.
I'll be sitting there, and this league will prove once again, hey, without Caitlyn Clark, you don't have
Right, there is no league.
You don't
Right.
have you don't have anything. It's so bad. Or I'm just talking about basketball, American basketball.
He is now the real deal. By promoting Clark as their crown jewel and then falling short of expectations, they may have done more harm than good to themselves. Their strong reliance on Clark's star power became a double-edged sword, with an unrivaled market on the one hand and a noticeable gap on the other. The key question now is whether they will be able to prosper without their most marketable star.
But she was comfortable enough in her position to make the decision, and it appears that answer is no. We'll see how Unrivaled does without Caitlyn Clark. They could still succeed, but we know what it would have meant.
Fans were practically giddy over the infamous 22-minute roster reveal video jam-packed with Easter eggs pointing to Clark. When her name didn't appear, let's just say that social media wasn't kind. People weren't mad, Sir, or Bob, they were furious. Critics slammed Unrivaled for overselling a possibility that, in retrospect, was never concrete. The video's random countdown timer now just became a meme, and fans vented their frustration online. One fan wrote, "Why tease us with Caitlyn if she wasn't signed?" Another said, "This felt like a bait and switch for a league that's banking on changing the game."
Clark has a major endorsement deal with State Farm. So let me stop you right there. She's playing. No. She's playing. You will see an announcement today that Caitlyn Clark is going to join this league. We can clip this up.
While some saw Clark's decision as a missed opportunity, others recognized it as a power move. After all, she had just come off a record-breaking college career and launched into an explosive rookie season. In year one, she led the Indiana Fever to their first playoff berth since 2016, shattered 62 records, and turned the franchise into a legitimate contender. That's an extraordinary amount to accomplish in such a short time. Her decision to step back from Unrivaled wasn't just about the money, though let's be clear, $1 million is no small sum. It was about longevity and focus. Clark has been open about wanting to build on her rookie momentum and push the Fever toward a championship. Why risk burnout or injury by piling on another league, especially when she's already faced heightened scrutiny within the WNBA? Imagine the fallout if she were seriously hurt in a 3v3 game, as Clark herself put it. I feel like basketball has consumed my life this past year. In that rare moment of reflection, she made it clear that taking time for herself and focusing on the road ahead simply feels right.
Everybody's, oh, she's going to have this incredible adjustment. She's not ready, blah, blah, and she's first team All-NBA.
Even while we all want to see more of her, you can't hold her responsible for that. You must acknowledge that perhaps an off-season league isn't the ideal option, and don't forget to. This is a big picture by giving the WNBA priority. If you think Clark's influence ends on the court, think again. Her rookie season wasn't just historic, it was revolutionary. She turned the Fever into must-see TV with over 21 broadcasts that drew more than 1 million viewers each, which is more than many NBA games. Clark is stating that the league doesn't need gimmicks to thrive. It needs time, talent, and people like her who believe in his potential. In order to handle the crowds whenever Clark came to town, the ATT tenant at the Fever home game team skyrocketed, averaging over 177,000 fans per game. Opting teams even began renting larger arenas to accommodate the crowds. Her playing style is unselfish, team-oriented, and electrifying. She's not just a scoring machine, she's a playmaker who elevates everyone around her. One Fever fan perfectly captured it. Caitlyn is changing. She's not simply playing hoops.
Now players don't have a brand, but Caitlyn Clark does. And that's one of the things that has made the growth of the WNBA explode. And I got to tell you, it's one of the things that's going to make this Unrivaled explode or at least be successful.
What does this mean for Rival? The league has potential, no question about it. Its innovative format and dedication to player salaries are groundbreaking, but critics have pointed out that its reliance on a single player, no matter how marketable, is risky as hell. Rival needs to concentrate on developing a sustainable brand that isn't dependent on Clark's involvement. The league still has some major WNBA stars, which gives it a strong foundation. However, without Clark, the challenge will be keeping fans interested and demonstrating that they can put on fantastic games, and honestly, they still have an opportunity to shine. As Clark prepares for her sophomore season with a young dynamic core that includes Elia, all eyes are on her. Rival capitalizes on its distinctive format and displays the quality that it does have. It may just carve out a niche in the basketball world. The Fever is set for a breakout season thanks to Boston's supremacy in the paint and Kelsey Mitchell's versatility, and Clark is at the heart of it all, so you can't really blame her for not wanting to receive a H and being unmatched.